bills that are sensitive as far as tax software. So I was going to try to see how everybody was comfortable with it. We've got one more meeting if need be on that, but we'll go forward. But first of all, let me have Doc Rett, who actually is in the district that will have the constituency now of my grandson, to lead us in the invocation. Are you number 4?
Number 3.
3, okay.
Just call me old granddad.
Mhm.
Bow heads. Thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to do the people's work. It's another day's journey, and we're glad about it. Give us your wisdom, guidance, and hold our hands as we do the people work. And we ask this through Christ the Lord. Amen.
And as a lot of people know, today is qualifying day as well. So I think a lot of people have been busy. And I think one of my members is down there qualifying right now. This should be joining us. I have to tell you, when I first came here, and I'd been 8 years on the county commission, been in government. I came here in 2012 to qualify, and they were qualifying in the state Senate. So I went to the state Senate to qualify, filled out all the paperwork, the forms, gave him the check. Everything seemed to be good. And he said, okay, we've now qualified you to run as a Democrat. And he's going like that. And I'm grabbing his hand. What? And they said, no, the Republicans are in the House. So I was this close. That would have been a heck of a start to a career. But anyway, he said, we almost had you. Anyway, I don't see Representative Knight here. I was going to let him go through the IRC, but and I know he did confirm attending, didn't he? Okay, so I guess we better go on to the other bill. And I believe we've got Representative Josh Bonner on Zoom, I believe. Is that correct? Somewhere?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I'm here.
There you are. Okay, I saw a different name below you. You know, there's a lot of hardworking senators here today doing business for the great people of the great state of Georgia. And are you at the beach, or where are you at today?
I'm at the house this morning, Mr. Chairman, getting some work done, not only for the people, but also the people that live in this house.
And you know, you might stand up, make sure you actually don't have pajama bottoms on or something there at the house, but
no comment, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Well, maybe you better not stand up then. So you have before us, and let me pull this bill out here that's already been passed in the budget, I believe, but this is the enabling legislation, House Bill 1302. So it's to provide for a one-time tax credit for filers. So if you want to present the bill to this committee, we'd be glad to hear it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the committee. I appreciate the opportunity to present House Bill 1302 to you today. This bill is a part of Governor Kemp's initiative, his legislative agenda. This is an opportunity for the legislature to return $1.6 billion in surplus to the taxpayers of Georgia. The bill allows a qualified taxpayer who filed an individual return in 2020 and 2021 to receive a refund when they file taxes this year. Single filers would receive $250, head of household $375, and married couples filing jointly would receive $500. Georgians with a tax liability less than the amounts I just mentioned would receive a refund equal to their 2020 tax liability. Now, this refund is also subject to set-off debt collections, such as delinquent child support payments, that kind of thing. And qualified taxpayers do not need to do anything additional in order to receive this refund other than filing their 2020 and 2021 tax returns. That, Mr. Chairman, essentially is the bill, and I'll be happy to address any questions.
So I think you said that the refund would be equal to the, I guess it would be the lesser amount of the tax liability that they had, or the 250, 375, or 500.
That is correct, Mr. Chairman. So, for instance, if someone ended up with a liability of 150, then it would be the lesser of those amounts. They would not get more than what they paid in.
All right. So with the revenue in Georgia being at record levels, I guess what you and the governor are saying is that there was extra money left over and it came from the people. And so the people need to get it back. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. I think we can all agree that if we had to decide between who could spend our money best, either government or ourselves, I think I'd trust the people with that.
And one point of distinction I think we need to make here is that when the federal government has given some checks, they've done it with borrowed money that they borrow and leave us on the hook for, and we're charged interest on. This money is sitting in the bank. It is there. There's no borrowing of money for this. This is money in surplus that the state of Georgia has accumulated through various means, including wide stewardship of it. So I think that distinction certainly needs to be made in this case, what the difference is on that. Any questions from the committee that you have? Well, speak into the mic. What number are you?
I'm number 10. I just wanted to say thank you for the sponsor and for the governor bringing this. This extra money is going to help offset the inflation that we're experiencing, plus the high cost of gasoline due to the pipeline being cut off last year, and now what we're seeing over in Ukraine. So I'd love to make a motion do pass at the appropriate time.
Okay, Senator Albers.
Let Senator Gooch make the motion, but a comment as well. Thank you, Representative Bonder, for bringing this. Isn't this true? Isn't it true that because Governor Kemp opened up our state and all others followed us, that we had this great low unemployment rate and the surplus revenue because of his leadership? Is that not true?
I would certainly agree. Thank you for the question, Senator.
Thank you.
All right. If I don't see any other questions, I believe we're ready for a motion.
Motion to do pass House Bill 1302. I think it's LC number 43-2289-ECS.
Second.
We've got a second. And again, this money was included in the budget of appropriations that we have already seen. And this is the legislation that makes it happen. We've got a motion, Senator Gooch, a second, Vice Chair Senator Albers, and any other discussion by the committee? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. You can get back to the beach and have a good time down there while we work.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And tell us your Senate sponsor also before you leave us.
I believe it's going to be Senator Dixon on that, Mr. Chairman.
You got to be kidding.
Motion to reconsider.
All right. Does that look like a Russ Goodman bill to me? But if that's your choice. All right. Well, we appreciate you being here with us today, and thank you for presenting the bill.
Thank you.
One more. We've got Representative Knight here with the IRC, and I know this was short notice to you, but I think since we did all the IRC last November, this is a very simple one in my opinion, and the people that do tax software and people that are filing their taxes is going to keep people from filing taxes, I hope, amended returns, the quicker we can deal with this. So I wanted to move that forward in the Senate here. So that's mic number 2. If you want to go ahead and present the information, if you need a copy of it.
I'm going to try to read it from the phone, but Mr. Chairman, you are correct. This is probably, I've been doing the IRC update for, I know almost since I've been here, 05, 06, and this is by far the shortest one. You are correct. We did some things in the special session that actually limited, the length of the bill. Basically, over the next 5 years, the changes are resulting in about a negative $1.9 million. I mean, this is almost, again, negligible. The changes, and again, are going into some things such as tax exempt bonding. These are some things that the feds added that will have very minimal effect. That's probably the largest one. in regards to adding in broadband and some of, making these tax exempt, adding in tax exempt bonds for the purpose of, I think, broadband and other, some of the other carbon fiber dioxide issues that are up under the federal tax code. That's the largest one. There's one in regards to rate smoothing. These are on the defined benefit plans. Obviously, the rates going up and down. We've extended that. Really negligible effect there. And then some certain contributions to regulated public utilities that non-taxable. And we're already doing that, so there is no effect. So, I mean, that's in essence the three major issues that were in the IRC code update.
All right. Any questions for the sponsor? And I might get someone from the Department of Revenue to go over it through. Sometimes we hear it a couple of times. I think it helps out. So any questions this time? If not, who would be the best to ask you, maybe Mason? Okay. All right. Stephen, if you want to give the members a brief recap. I did spring it on them fast because we're trying to get the tax software squared away where we match up with the federal changes. And it's, as we've said, it's very minimal because most of all this in November. But if you could take us through it, that'd be great.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, thank you for giving me a moment to speak. As Chairman Knight mentioned, most of the changes that we have brought before you or in the update bill are to a pretty narrow group of taxpayers. To look at it from like a high level categorically, these are either things that would be kind of pandemic relief related or infrastructure related. For example, there are some benefits for tax benefits for infrastructure bonds for things that ordinarily would be interest that would ordinarily be taxable. This would exempt it. Other examples would be for water and sewer. The chairman mentioned interest rate smoothing. That essentially provides some front end relief to pension plans to reduce the required contributions they have to make in the early years. But again, those are not sizable numbers. If there's any specific questions to any particular items, I can go into it in greater detail, but those are the high level.
All right. Senator Hickman, I know you had a question earlier. Did you still have that, or have you been squared away? Your number what?
I think the one thing that I remember, part of this tax, we get special relief in provisions where president or the governor has designated certain areas of tornadoes or hurricanes. I think this particular also adds fire to that situation too.
That's correct. I apologize, I didn't mention that. This has to do with for certain disasters. That's correct. The revenue commissioner generally has authority to extend the filing deadline for Georgia's tax returns. The federal government added significant fires as a qualifying event. So in this case, if the Treasury, the IRS commissioner were to extend their federal deadline by adopting significant fires in the Georgia code, the state commissioner could likewise extend the deadline.
All right. Any other questions from the committee? Again, because of redistricting, I guess maybe every 10 years we can knock out 95% of this in November, like we did this last November, not have that much to deal with right now. But Senator Orrock, you're number 2, or what do you got? All right. Well, grab a mic close to you. Which one is that? 2?
This is 2.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just was gonna ask the question of on line 29 through 31. Well, no, actually, I'll just ask the larger question. When do we know what the fiscal impact is of this on Georgia's revenues?
We already do, but you might not have been here when we talked about that, but we're about 1.9 million of the entire bill, I believe, isn't it?
Senator, obviously there's a spreadsheet that goes through and looks at the impact, usually going out 5 years. And again, most of this is timing when we do this, but the entire impact over the 5-year period is a negative $1.9 million. That's it. In the past, we've dealt, most
bigger
members,
amounts, yeah.
tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
This is 1.9 over a 5-year period.
So and that's nowhere on paper yet. We don't have any.
We do have it on
paper.
paper and I don't have it on this committee. I can get that to you if you need
Yeah.
that.
It's negligible.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's-
I
so,
hear you. Mhm.
but
Yeah.
yes,
Because that's 5 years you're talking about.
yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and again, all we're doing is we're matching what the federal government did so that the tax returns are consistent. We try to do that as much as we can, though we don't always do every single thing they do, but we try for the taxpayer to keep it simple on the returns.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. President Pro Tem, you're number 5, I believe. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. At the appropriate time, I would like to move do pass House Bill 1320 LC 432261.
Okay, and we've got a motion to pass a second, and all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you
All
for
right.
being here, passed unanimously, and tell us who your sponsor is. I believe you've got,
I don't know, Senator Hickman, do you?
he's done it the last couple of
Yeah,
years.
I
and he is,
yeah, he would be a good one to,
from one CPA to another, huh?
so
Yeah.
there you go.
All right, that's
Thank
all
you,
the
Mr.
business
Chairman.
today. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.
Great meeting.